There's your moon for the night. Bike sitting there with the 17 on it, staring at a hole. I doubt he's coming back. A little smoky that way, and farther that way you go, a lot more smoky. Especially to the north. I turned this off when it got in earlier and drug it out. Turn it on now, a little after 9 o'clock. It should be in around 4:30-ish. So, at least if I'm not out here right away, I won't be too awful late. That's my plan anyway. Go in, get me a nap, and do it all over again. 4:45, it's in. That one's not yet. It's going to be more like 7 or 8, which is fine. Get this one moved to the next one, get it running. Just gotta, actually it doesn't matter once the valve's set, but usually I'll shut this one off till that one's going. No big deal. So here's what our morning looks like. I think it's cloudy. That's my guess. Neighbor's already in his shop. And brightness from city or brightness from sun. Either way, that's too far south for the sun at the moment. So, get my butt to work. Oh yeah, weather station didn't make connection this morning, so it's got ... for temperature and ... for humidity. But the mercury on the post says 62 degrees. And we're only supposed to have a high of 73, 78, something like that anyway. Well, I'll believe it when I see it. So, that thing in the middle of the screen, I about had a heart attack. Got up, turned the valve on, put the traveler back in gear. Let's take a drink of my coffee, which would either be in this inside coat pocket on this nice coat that I got from BCP Farming and Trucking, or it would be laying right here. Yeah. I had to wait for that one to come around before I got all the way out where I wanted to be. Then I unhooked and drove away very quickly so I did not get soaked because it was hitting over here. Hey, I found it. Good thing too. I'd go into fits, convulsions, and whatever else. Didn't even get it full of cash yet. Usually drop it in the gravel and put chips in along there and then have to pile them up or they cut my lip. So, yeah, it's got a good 2 hours, I guess. Maybe 2.5. It'd be light by then. The twins right there. I don't know where their mama is. Haven't found her yet. The new cow with the red tag is there. Dancer's calf. Freaking yellow jacket after me already. They're right there. Look at the size of that calf compared to mama. Mama's not a very big cow. It's either a 2 or 3 year old. But her calf's a big calf, whether she's small or not. That's how they're supposed to do it. Not be real big and wean off a big calf. And she's got another month or better before the calf's old enough to wean. Looking for gophers. Some of them have already done pushing when I got out here. A lot of them, especially where the sprinkler's already been, they're a little weary to come out. They think it's the middle of winter and it's monsoon. This guy was done. And I should have showed you a strip in the middle of the screen there, and there's another one Other side of the cow, darker spots, where the cows said, no, that's my food. And they've gone in and stomped where the gophers were all down in a few places. And believe it or not, the cows kill a lot of gophers on purpose. I haven't seen it. Well, I've seen a couple of times where they've been stomping the ground, but I mean, there's spots out here. It looks like 3 or 4 of them got together and just stomped the crap out of it. And odds are doing that, they'll squish them if they're anywhere close to the surface. And yeah, cloudy. And they're moving from the north. And they're moving pretty good, which is kind of interesting. Now, we'll see what happens. It's not supposed to rain. My weather app shows like 35% chance of rain next weekend. Well, we may get some washed on hay because I don't think we're going to get... No, I'm not done cutting. I got a lot of cutting to do. Anyway.
It's a lovely field. A little bit of everything in here. The green, you see, I don't mind a bit, although most of it's already set pods and getting ready to drop seed. But that's wild radish. It's a legume. There's some with some white flowers on it there. Makes really good feed. Good share of this field's got a lot of red clover in it. And anybody remembers a few years back, we literally mudded this in the spring, put oats in it, and I tried to cut it, and it wouldn't cut clean no matter what I did. And I finally figured out it was the apron on the front of the mower. The oats is stiff enough stem that the apron hit it, snapped it over, and then the cutter couldn't cut it. So, but the dark stuff you see through here is red clover that is already set seed and dried out. It'll still make good feed. On the other side, there's a bunch of green red clover in all different stages. So, I mean, the grass that's here is decent grass. Some of it's still got a little green, just not much. No, anyway, this is where I am at the moment. Work my way up the hill from here. There's some green red clover in here. This field, we used to be able to see from the barnyard, but those trees have grown up. End of the field up here is the road that's to the south of our farm. A couple houses in between, but from right here I used to be able to look right at Mom and Dad's house. Not anymore. Hey, there is a spot we can see the house. Right there in the middle of the screen. Nothing like taking a little over an hour to cut 5 acres. But I wasn't going very fast. That corner is so steep that no matter how you take it, you slide sideways anyway. And so full of freaking gophers. And from about over here to over there on that side hill, the freaking great acres have some really nice holes. There's really nice mounds of dirt. And somewhere along the line, I got a fly in here and he won't leave me alone. Well, anyway, you use your imagination. There's a little bit of green. Most of this we could put 4 or 5, maybe 6 windrows together and make a mouthful for the big baler. 3 windrows would do a little better. Over there, there's some that, no, there's only a couple passes, but it would take 10 windrows of those thin passes. Oh, I'm going to shut it down and clean my screen off and go to the next one. Okay, I'm at the next one. I was going to mention in that last field that I kind of think SEA90 made a little difference down there. Because some of the grass, like what's right here, the taller stuff with the seeds on it, goes up pretty good and looked good. And I got to this field, and even these annuals in here, I call this the annual shit. I always called that dog hair. You're cutting this with a sickle machine. Whether you got full guards or stuff guards, and hold downs or whatever, that stuff just lays in between the knife and the guard. Plugs everything up. But this looks like there's a lot more material here than last year. Of course, more than just the annuals in part of it too. Top part's got some fennel grass. Down here looks like a little fescue, a little, orchard grass. I want to say that's what we planted in here last time, and that's been a long time ago. And you gotta love trees. Go around them and then try to straighten it up so you're not like you're drunk all the time. But anyway, no, I'm impressed with the way this place looks. So far, I don't know what the backfield looks like yet. Find out when I get there. I mean, this looks a lot like the backfield normally looks, maybe not quite as good. Lots of other grass here too. Interesting thing I found though with a lot of the meadow grass this year, there hasn't been a lot of leaf with it. Kind of weird. But it is what it is. I got a river to stop up here. There's two tansies along the edge that I'm going to have to pull before I can do my back spot. So right now looks like a good time to do it. Not what I wanted to see. And I got a bunch beside me. And that looks like it's mostly thistle, but there's tansy in there too. And that one I gotta go pull. And there's another one down here by the gate. Well, by the entrance. Maybe get it when I come back around. Hopefully that's all back here. And this patch is known for this upper half being full of gophers. No matter what we do. There was gophers in here, didn't I? Annuals, little grass, and a lot of this stuff that's down here looking really ugly. Looks to be velvet grass mixed in with the bella grass. Just a big patch of it. Down here it's fennel and annual and a few other things. See the difference in the windrows. Like the windrow's just as heavy, just because it's so dried out that it's just not fluffy anymore. And the bad thing about gophers and moles in a field like this, you have no idea where they're at until you hit them. Down here at the end there was mole hills. I saw a couple of them sticking up through the grass. We're talking like foot and a half tall. It's like, really? Makes for colorful windrows. We should hit something here in a second. Pull the engine down a ways. Maybe I'm pretty well past them. Anyway, you know what I'm doing? You don't know where I'm at. I'm actually about 3.5 miles by road south of the farm. There's a bull thistle for you. They'll eat it. Well, anyway, I think when I'm done here, this dirty bitch is going home. Because I'm sure I'm getting a lot of stuff packed up on the cutter bar. That's what those windrows look like when you get into it. When you're not into it, looks pretty decent. Anyway, just the little bit of natural juice that's left in the grass and everything, mixed with that dirt, it's just damn near as hard as steel, and it packs on everything. So it'll get cleaned up. And as for back here, as far as the SEA90, what's standing, I think there's a noticeable difference, kind of like the front. So that is what it is, and there's my tracks from doing the SEA90, and more tracks. So, and I was told that stuff wasn't corrosive at all. Well, yeah, it is. The valves on that sprayer, they're froze up solid. You can't turn any of them. And when you do finally get something open and get a little bit of liquid out, it comes out as rust. So I don't know what we're going to do with that. We'll do something with it at a later date. But you know, it's sea salt minerals. Kind of hard not to be a little corrosive. I don't know. There's a good pile there. We'll get some dirt. Just like that. The bad thing about the machine with the rollers, I think, you know, earlier in the year like we should be, and things are still kind of damp, it packs the dirt into the stems, where the impeller conditioner, it more or less beats it out of it. But that's just what, you know, my opinion, experience with, oh hell, our first disc mower was whenever John Deere came out with the 1327, so like 1982, 1984, maybe somewhere in there. And if you want to compare the disc mower to a sickle machine, I wouldn't even be, I'd probably still be on the front piece actually. And with the gophers in here, I'd be out there with a shoveling the front pan off all the time. I don't miss those days. I really don't. Especially when it's still down. But that's enough of me gabbing my jaw since I'm almost done. I go home and maybe I'll get lunch by 3 or 3:30.